This chapter aims to highlight the two main aspects of monetary policy or monetary economics. The two main sides of monetary policy are demand for money and supply of money. The interaction between these two sides create the monetary policy as the whole. Firstly, we will focus on demand for money. We will concentrate on the definition of demand for money, and we will screen out the evolution of demand for money as theories. The main concepts of demand for money. Again, the monetary policy is based on two main sides: demand for money and supply of money. So the main question, how to make MS equal MD. MS stands for money supply and MD stands for money demand. We will search the factors which affect the demand for money and supply of money. So, generally speaking, the determinants of monetary policy. Introduction. Demand for money is a prominent issue in macroeconomics. Is essential issue, is very significant issue. Demand for money is very important issue in macroeconomics. Due to what? The reason. Due to the important role of money plays in determination of price level, interest rate, and income. So the question why demand for money is very important issue in macroeconomics, because of the important and significant role of money which plays in the process of determination of price level, interest rate, and income. In this section, we will pay attention to the theory of demand for money, focusing on classical theory, Fisher's equation, Cambridge approach, and Keynes theory. The demand for money refers to how much assets individual. The demand for money is, we are going to define what stands behind the demand for money. Demand for money means to how much assets individuals wish to hold in the form of money, as opposed to what? To liquid and illiquid fiscal assets. It's sometimes referred to as liquidity preferences. Liquidity. What do you mean by liquidity? Money in your pocket is a liquid. Money in the bank as account is illiquid money. So the liquid money, that money which can spend currently. The demand for money is related to income, interest rate, and whether people prefer to hold cash money or illiquid assets like money. So, what forms of money we demand? This is the main question. Here we need to distinguish between illiquid assets and liquid assets. Okay. So, and we need to understand the relation between demand for money and three main variables. The relation between demand for money and three main variables. What's that variables? Price level, interest rate, and income. Okay. So the interrelationship between demand for money and these three variables, we need to determine the interrelationship between them. Demand for money. Theoretical approaches to demand for money. We will try to highlight these four approaches. Actually, we are talking about the evolution of demand for money. Transactions approach or Fisher quantity theory of demand. Easier to say Fisher equation or transaction approach. This approach belongs to Irving Fisher, an American economist. The second is cash balances approach or Cambridge equation. University of Cambridge in UK. And Keynes theory of liquidity preference. Keynes theory of liquidity preference or Keynesian theory of demand for money. Number 4 is monetarism approach. Chicago University or Milton Friedman issue. The classical economists did not explicitly formulate demand for money theory. They didn't create or they didn't design a specific theory of demand for money, but their effort in this process is inherent in the quantity theory of money. They considered only the medium of exchange function of money as important. So, the classical economists understood the demand of money as medium of exchange, as the means of purchasing of goods and services. The cash transactions approach was popularized by Irving Fisher of the US in 1911 in his book Purchasing Power of Money. Through his equation of exchange, he made an attempt to determine price level and value of money. The Fisher's approach was formulated using the following equation, which is known as Fisher's equation of demand for money. Okay, this is known as a Fisher's equation. M, V, plus MV equal BT, where M is the total quantity of money, M, is the credit money, V and V, is its velocity of circulation of money, the movement of money, of circulation of money, and credit velocity of money. So V stands for velocity of money and V, stands for velocity of credit money. P is the price level, T is the total amount of goods and services exchanged for money. Soon we will ignore credit money, respectively will ignore the velocity of credit money. Equation, the previous equation, equates the demand for money PT, pay attention, not MD, PT, to supply of money MV. The following equation will help to find out the effect of quantity of money on the price level or the value of money. If credit money and velocity of credit money is constant, other factors, these two factors remain constant, then the Fisher's equation will be written as MV equal BT, or P equal MV over T, where M is the total money supply, V is velocity of money, P is the price level, and T is the output. PT, a demand for money as mentioned before. According to Fisher, the nominal quantity of money is fixed by the central bank. That's correct. Is determined by central bank. Actually, we are talking about supply of money is determined by central bank, and therefore treated as an exogenous, not endogenous variable, exogenous variable, which is assumed to be a given quantity in a particular period of time. Further, the number of transactions in a period is a function of national income. Since Fisher assumed full employment of resources revealed in the economy, the level of national income is determined by the amount of the fully employed resources. Thus, with this assumption, the volume of transaction T is a fixed in short run. Fisher made most important contribution in the theory of demand for money. Here, we would like to make stress on two main aspects made by Irving Fisher. Supply of money is an exogenous variable, while demand of money or demand for money is an endogenous variable. Assumption which makes his equation as a theory of demand for money is that velocity of circulation V remains constant and is independent of M, P and T. This is because he thought that velocity of circulation of money V is determined by institutional and technological factors involved in the transaction process. If we would like to be in equilibrium, nominal quantity of money supply must be equal to the nominal quantity of money demand, so that MS equals to MD equals to M, where M is fixed by central bank. With the above assumptions, Fisher equation can be rewritten as MD equal PT over V, or MD equal 1 PT over V. Therefore, according to Fisher, demand for money depends on the following three factors. This is the determinants of demand for money, according to Fisher, are the number of transactions, number one, the average price transfer, or the average level of price, and the velocity of circulation of money. Example, if the central bank doubled the supply of money in the economy, the long-run prices in the economy would to increase dramatically. This is because more money circulating in an economy would equal more demand and spending by consumers, driving price up. If M equal 100, V equal 5 times P equal to and T equal 250. Therefore MV equal PT. 100 times 5 equal 500 and 250 times 2 equal 500. Cambridge, the second approach, known as Cambridge equation, Cambridge cash balance theory of demand for money, was put forward by Cambridge economists Marshall, Bijo, and Robertson. It places emphasis on the function of money as a store of value. Remember that the previous Fisher approach was focused on money as the medium of exchange. This Cambridge issue based on the function of money as a store of value or wealth, instead of Fisher emphasis on the use of money as a medium of exchange. They focused their analysis on the factors that determine individual demand for holding cash balances. Thus, according to their approach, aggregate demand for money can be expressed as MD equal KPY. MD equal KPY. Where Y is the real national income, P average price level of currently produced goods and services, PY nominal income, K proportion of nominal income, PY, that people want to hold as cash balances. Okay, it is coefficient. Demand for money in this equation is linear function of nominal income. The slope of the function is equal to K. K equal MD over PY. Thus, important feature of cash balance approach is that it makes the demand for money a function of money income. As we mentioned before, Fred Marshall was a member of a team of Cambridge economists who designed the Cambridge equation. The Cambridge approach, according to Fred Marshall's formulas, is as follows: M equal KY, where M the quantity of money, Y is the total money income, K is the coefficient. Later on we will discover that K is used by Keynes in determining the demand for money for transactions. Keynesian approach. Keynes propounded a theory of demand for money in his general theory. This is the book, the Keynesian book. The general theory of employment, money and interest rate. So his demand for money is called liquidity preference. How much of income or resources will a person hold in money, and how much will a person part with or lend? Liquidity preference means the demand for money to hold or the desire of the public to hold cash. Keynes identified three motives for holding money in every economy: the transaction motive for holding money, the precautionary, and the speculative demand. This is the motives of demand for money according to Keynesian approach. Demand for money is an endogenous variable, while money supply is an exogenous variable. According to the Keynesian approach, money is demanded for three motives. He articulated that the transaction and precautionary demand for money (MT) are depending upon income, while the speculative demand depends on interest rate (MA). MT is a combination. MT is the combination of the two motives for transaction and for precautionary demand. Function of transaction and precautionary demand. For example, MT equals 0.20 Y. MA depends on interest rate, function of speculative demand. MD respectively equals the summation of MT plus MA. Respectively, money demand depends on income and interest rate. For example, MT equals 0.2025 Y and MA equal 100 negative 500 I. 500 is the coefficient of interest rate. MD equal 0.25 plus 100 negative 500 I. Assume Y equal 500 and I equal 0.10, then money demand equal 175. LM stands for liquidity and money. The equation of LM is that equation which consists of various levels of income and interest rate and expresses the equilibrium status of the market of money. The relation between income and interest rate in the market of money is said to be direct or positive. That's why the curve which expresses the equation is upward. The condition of equilibrium is MD equal MS. Let's take this exercise. Design the LM equation. If MS equal 200, MS stands for money supply, MT equal 0.2 Y, and MA equal 150 negative 600 I. Once to design LM equation, we have to equate MS to MD. 200 stands for MS equal 0.20 Y plus 150 negative 600. The final result is Y equal 250 plus 3000 I. LM equation. Check here the relation between Y income and interest I is positive in the market of money. Example: referring to the above LM equation, Y equal 250 plus 3000 I, MT equal 0.20 Y, and MA equal 150 negative 600 I. Given the levels of interest rate as 2%, 4%, 6%, and 8%. Required. Find the level of income of each level of interest rate. Prove the equilibrium level of each combination. 3. Expresses the equation graphically. Okay. Now, if I equal 0.2, then y equal 250 plus 3000 times 0.2 equal 310. mt equal 0.20 multiplied by 310 equal 662. ma equal 150 negative 600 times 0.20 equal 138. md equal 200 equal 62 plus 138. So we can continue to prove our assumptions. One time for just we are going to repeat the same operation which we circulated in the first example. Okay, the levels of income associated with the levels of interest rate prove that the relation between two variables is direct. Each combination of income and interest rates confirmed the equilibrium status of the market of money. Quiz. Plot the LM curve given I is a vertical axis and y is the horizontal axis. Thank you.